All right, everyone. I am so excited to be here. It is Monday, May 2nd, the weekend after UIA, the event. How many of you guys type a 1 in the chat if you were at UIA, and type a 2 in the chat if you wish that you were at UIA? Because there's no other option. Either you were there or you wish you were there. Oh, you guys, we miss those of you who were not there. But I'm really happy to be on this call tonight to just kind of share some of the experiences that many of us had. The event was so intimate and so special. We actually just got off a call with Lanice, who's on this call now. And she was, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna throw her under the bus. She was getting emotional and had pretty much, I think, everyone like crying on the call. It was such a powerful event. And it was such a different event than most events that Isagenix hosts, because it's hosted by a man named David T.S. who is really big in the personal development space. He's in Isagenix, but he is one of the best speakers in the entire world. And what made this event so special is that you're literally sitting in a room with about 300 to 400 people, rubbing shoulders with them, but they're just not just people. Like, you're sitting next to Dave MacArthur, who's made $10 million in Isagenix, getting to ask him questions, getting to sit there and, I mean, kind of grill them a little bit, right? And being like, hey, what works? What doesn't? Sorry, I'm trying to let everybody in. Okay, I'm going to try and keep that up. Sorry. But it was such a special event, and it was my first UIA, which made it a really cool thing, especially after, the last couple years not having them because of him being in different countries and such. So it was a really big honor. But I want you guys to ask yourself the question, if you weren't there, what environments are you putting yourself in? We talked about at the event, like, your environment is so much stronger than your willpower. So if you're not getting results and you couldn't be at the event for some reason, or you didn't make it a priority, maybe, make sure you're kind of assessing like what environments you're putting yourself in, what rooms you're putting yourself in, who you're surrounding yourself with, because that stuff matters. That stuff matters. We can't outwork a bad environment. So if you're putting yourself around people who aren't thinking big, who aren't changing the world, that's something to consider. I also know that life is crazy right now, as it always has been and it always will be, but really making it a priority to get to celebration in August now. So I really believe that a few of these takeaways I'm going to share with you guys will hopefully be an impact for you. If you guys don't know me, I'm Sydney Lich. I see a few new faces on the call. I've been around Isagenix for about 5 years. And on the topic of events, a woman named Lindsay Hoffer was speaking at the event. She used to be an ophthalmologist. She was an eye doctor before Isagenix. Her husband was very skeptical, and she actually shared to even keep her license as an ophthalmologist. She hasn't practiced in 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but she always keeps her license. And she says just to simply keep her license as an ophthalmologist, she has to maintain about 80 hours a year of some sort of practice, classes, courses, to maintain relevant, to maintain engaged, up to speed, and frankly good at what she does in case she ever goes into practice. And so I want that to transmit into network marketing for all of you. If you believe that without getting on team calls or without going to events, you're able to stay relevant and engaged and up to speed, it's just not possible. Lenny said the same thing on the last call. For beauty professionals, it's usually every 2 years you have continuing education. These events are opportunities for continuing education. And something Lenny said on a call today with Mary Catherine and I, she said, money cannot buy what I received at this event. So that is my strongest of encouragements to you to be, and that's coming from a woman who just pushed off about 30 or 40 clients because of things at her salon or her spa that she couldn't control, to be able to be at this event. She sacrificed to be at this event, and it literally, money could not buy what she experienced here because it changed her life so much. So I really also want to take a second to acknowledge the leadership we have in Zach and Eden, because at this event, it was the first time that, if you've ever been to an Isagenix event, type a 1 in the chat if you've ever been to an Isagenix event where the Slobans are also at. They are like Isa famous. They're walking around, they're getting pictures. But you guys, this event was on another level. They were asked by David T.S, one of the most amazing speakers on the planet, to come out and speak and train several times throughout the event. They were so endeared and revered by David Wood, and we have access to them. We have access to Zach and Eden, who truly, I leaned back to them and I said, thank you guys. Like, thank you for training us so well. Thank you for passing on things that nobody else has access to unless they're in your team. Thank you guys for just showing up and being here, even though you don't have to be. It's a huge honor to be in this team. And so I just want to remind everyone of that, because I needed the reminder. And like, we truly have some of the best speakers, trainers, leaders, mentors in the industry. And I really believe in the world. I really, really do believe that in all industries. So at this event, we went through an exercise with every single top leader who basically spoke. So David would, after they spoke or shared, he would ask them a series of questions. And as I go through these, I want you to see what gets sparked up for you and inside of you, because this is what it actually takes to create what many of us are really hoping that we can create without putting in the work. Okay, this is the level of work it takes to create some of the results that some of us are hoping to create. So the people, what I realized at this event was all the successful people, the people making money in this industry, the only thing they're doing different is they're treating it like a business. These people aren't special. They're no more special than you. What they are willing to do is do the work. What they are willing to do is to get more no's. What they're more willing to do is to be committed to creating the results and helping other people and taking ownership and responsibility, show up at events, show up on team calls, right? So if you're doing some of those things, just know all it is doing the work now. It's doing the work and working on yourself. So I want to share a few stories. I was going to write them out, but I just don't want it to take too long. So I want you guys to write these down as you go so you can look back at these numbers. Okay, so I'm going to share a story of Dave and Carrie MacArthur. If you guys have heard of them, type a 2 in the chat. Mechanic to millionaire. They joined Isagenix 17 years ago. And David asked Dave, he said, all right, Dave, what did this look like for you? And he said, well, I had zero experience. I was depressed to the point that while I was, oh, sorry guys, log me out of my other account. While I was a mechanic, I didn't put the lock on the cars because I was just hoping one day the car would fall on me and end my life. That's where he was. He didn't have any influence. He worked all day, all night, every day, every night. When he joined Isagenix, he had 10,000 conversations over about the last 17 years. Out of those 10,000 conversations, he enrolled 250 people along with his wife, Carrie. And then David Wood asked him, okay, Dave, out of all of those 250 enrolled, personally enrolled, how many of those people are still around and building? And Dave said 1. And then he asked him, okay, Dave, how many people are currently in your team? And Dave said 400,000 people, making about $10 million over the last 17 years with Isagenix. That means that for every no that they got out of those 10,000 conversations, they made about $1,000 on average per no. Per no. Every time you got a no, imagine if you got, every time you guys got a no, you got $1,000. You just had to wait to get paid out on it. How many no's would you work to get? And I thought, oh, wow, okay, this is amazing. This is a great story, but cool. So what? What about me? What about my business? The pattern continued, you guys. We talked to Lindsay Hofberg, 4,000 conversations, lifetime enrollments, about 500. Personally enrolled active builders, only 4. 25,000 customer member base, cumulative earnings 2.5 million. So when you hear 4,000 conversations and 500 enrollments, great, 500 enrollments is huge, but how many no's is that? How many times did she get rejected? That's what you have to think about, because we're only looking at the wins. What about all those losses? CG sit-ins, bartender to millionaire, conversations, 6,000. Again, write these down if you guys can to look back at them. It's going to help you kind of like remind yourself of these lessons. CG sit-ins, 6,000 conversations, enrollments, 500 as well. How many are still building? CG said 1. Personally enrolled person, 1. It continues. 90,000 people in her downline, and she's made about $5.5 million in the last 10 years as a bartender. Lindsay Wynia was in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt with her husband in different business ventures that failed. She's enrolled about 620 people. She had about 5,000 conversations. Current builders, personally enrolled, 2. Her largest year was $550,000, 25,000 people. She's earned $3 million since 2015. You guys, it doesn't take a lot. Cindy Walter, another millionaire, 4,000 conversations, 500 enrollments, 5 active leaders. That's big. 54,000 members, $3.5 million. And the last one that I want to share with you guys is our one and only Slobans, Zach and Eden. As they were on stage, David asked them, how many conversations did you have? They said about 3,000. They've had about 350 enrollments, which I believe is one of the lowest out of all those people besides David and Carrie MacArthur. 350 enrollments. Guess how many of them are still building that they personally sponsored? 1, and she's on this call. Her name's Mary Catherine. 1. But that's led to 85,000 people and $5 million in cumulative earnings. So I want you guys to type in the chat box from those stories. I know it's a lot of numbers. I tried to go slow. I hope it made sense. Type in the chat what you just felt, what you just learned. Because what I learned was that this business is not about who we know, it's about who we're going to meet. And what I learned was that people are doorways. They're not destinations. And the people we know may not be, I would say every dud knows a stud. You might know a lot of duds, but those duds must know a lot of studs. And the most successful people in this business are not just focused on the people they know, because this compensation plan, if you really get it, this compensation plan does not just reward the people you know. It rewards you on everyone in the downline, everyone in the organization. I don't care that Lanice got enrolled by Mary Catherine and Lanice enrolled Renisha and Renisha enrolled XYZ. I'm going to help anybody. I didn't personally enroll any of those people. I didn't even know any of those people before I joined Isogenics, but I'm just as invested in all those people. Just like Michael Bocart, Zach and Eden didn't personally enroll him. He's 13 levels away, but they get paid 8% on everything he does. This isn't just about, and if you're getting caught up on like, well, this person didn't do anything that I brought in. Great, go find somebody else in the team that you have no idea who they are. There's gotta be one other person in your organization that you don't know who they are. I don't care if you've never met them, go reach out to them. This also taught me that, Bill, I wanna actually see some of your takeaways. Yeah, that's good. It is about team, not me, yes. Build your pipeline. Building your pipeline, having conversations. It's literally clearly, we have a high school dropout. We have a optometrist. We have a car mechanic. We have a bartender. They all about had the same amount of conversations. What if any of us just about had the same amount of conversations? Don't you think that we're going to probably have about the same results? Most of us just aren't having the conversations or we'd have those results. The numbers don't lie. People are not numbers, but this is a numbers game. This business is a numbers game. So do the work, have the conversations, find your why and just stay connected to that, trusting and release, surrender, and trust after hearing all of those stories, trust that if you're willing to do the work, the people will come. But this isn't just the work on the conversations, this is work on yourself, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. This is about recruiting the few to find the many who lead to the masses. Another thing I learned from this is nothing has meaning unless nothing has meaning except for the meaning you give it. All those no's. I calculated all the no's and I'm like, God, they got 4,000 no's. I calculated mine. I've gotten about 3,500 no's at this point. What does a no mean for you? Do you let a no knock you out? Do you let a no stop you for 5 days because you got your feelings hurt? Do you let a no mean that you suck and you're not worthy of success? Or do you treat a no like $1,000 and you're like, hey, thanks, see you later, on to the next one, because I'm just trying to get all my no's, I'm collecting my no's. just collecting my nose. And guess what we did at UIA, you guys missed it. Every time we got told no, we had a dance party. And we danced and we danced and we danced and we danced and we reassociated how we believe the word no should feel. And we changed the meaning around it. So nothing has meaning except the meaning that you're giving it. So you got to reassociate. What are you making it mean for you? What are you making a no mean for you? Now I'm like, if all these people are getting like 8,000 no's, 2,000 no's, I just got to go get more no's and I'm going to find the yeses. The numbers take care of themselves. So focus. This is what I'm talking about. The numbers take care of themselves. So really all we have to focus on is taking the action and focus on who we're being and how we're growing ourselves. And this is what this event did for us. It actually helped build our belief in all areas: network marketing, the compensation plan, the products, the community, the leadership, ourselves within network marketing. It helped us build. I felt like I left, and my belief's high. I have a high belief, but I left and I just was walking a little taller. I felt like I was like, my belief got raised a little bit, and those little inches make all the difference. So if we trust that the numbers are going to take care of themselves, and all we have to do is focus on the action and who we're being, and not making no mean it's like not a dirty word, how would that change your business? Imagine how much easier it would feel. Do you guys not agree? How do you guys feel when you get no's? Type in the chat, one word. How do you feel when you get a no? Next. That was good, Jess. That's so good. Oh, just Jess? Nobody else feels anything when they get a no because they're not having any conversations? Excited. Okay, good. Excited. Oh, good. This is good. Excited. Haha. You guys, haters are going to come. It might be your mom. You just never know. I was on my way into the event and I got like a nasty hate comment on social media. And I was like, there's still part of it that hurts. I'm not going to lie. It's like, oh, God. But it's some loser on the internet. Who cares? They're broke, miserable, and happy. So when people say, oh, that's a pyramid scheme, oh, blah, 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 do they have the results that you want? Probably not. Because some of the most successful people on the planet support network marketing. Because some of the most successful and grounded and kind people that I've ever met were in that room. They're making a lot more money than 20K a year. So if you're listening to people who are making 20, 30, 40, 50K a year, and they're telling you what you're doing is stupid, you got to get in a different room. And sometimes to understand, something to understand about this is, as we're building this business, it feels like we're not getting anywhere because you can't see the incremental movements forward. But again, wouldn't it be worth it having 10,000 conversations for someone who has no credibility, was a car mechanic, completely depressed, literally had 5 kids and wanted to die, to be able to make $10 million in 17 years, which is about $5,800 a year. $588,000 a year. Could you live on that? And what if you knew all those no's ended up being $1,000 each? It's time. What I really learned from this event, and David, what I believe is going to be at Celebration. And if I can encourage you to do anything, get your butt in that seat, because I see Carla like jamming out right now. She's like, yeah, you guys, David would change my life this weekend. It was the most impactful weekend of my life, probably top 1 or 2. And it's time to start embracing this winner's mentality, even if you're not a red. It doesn't have to look the same for everyone. It's about believing in yourself enough to be the change, because people are waiting for you to go first in everything. People are just waiting to be led. And if they don't have someone to follow, if they don't have you to follow, they're going to follow somebody else. They're going to find somebody to follow. So it can be you, because you take your business seriously and you're an amazing, genuine, kind-hearted person, or they're going to find somebody else to follow. They're just waiting for you to go first. And you have to be willing to be different. You have to be willing to stand out. You have to be willing to do the work on yourself. And you have to be willing to stand for other people's greatness and not take their BS. They say they're not interested. They're blowing you off. It's like, hey, let's have another conversation. Are you open to actually seeing what this is really about? Because a lot of those millionaires and people who have hit 5-star, 100 cycles in the first year were at this event. They said that they were like a 1. They couldn't have been less interested in building a business. Lindsay Weinia, Lindsay Hofber, Brandy, who else was up there? Like 2 or 3 others were all like, no, I just wanted to use the products. I wanted nothing to do with the business. But people were willing to stand for them. This company literally has all the tools. It has the events. It has the mentorship. It has the products. Literally all we have to do is be the invitation. And, you know, lastly, I want you guys also to hear that we can't want and what I mean by we is whoever your upline or sponsor or mentor, whoever it is for you. We can't want this more for you than we want it for you. We can't come wake you up every morning to get you to work on your business. Unfortunately, I can't have David knock on my door and wake me up in the morning to be like, hey, Sid, let's go. And his like cool little accent. That'd be really nice. Carla's like, yeah, that would be nice. I mean, it would, right? But you have to want this more than anybody. And what I found with all of these numbers is these people wanted it. No one made them go do 10,000 conversations. No one made them go get a bunch of no's, get rejected. No one cares about our lives more than we do. That's what I've realized. People only care about their life. You care about your life more than I care. I care about my life more than anybody else cares. And if you don't care about your life, no one is going to. And the only way that we can really make an impact in this business and in this world is if we care enough about ourselves to put this business on the forefront of what we're doing so that we can then turn around and actually care about other people. Because if we don't have our stuff right, if we don't have our finances straight, if we're, feeling crappy in our bodies, we're so consumed with our shit that we do not have energy to focus on helping other people's shit. So we've got to care about what we're doing. We've got to care about what we're doing and how we're treating our bodies, what we're doing in our business, supporting our financial thermostat, all of those things so that we can then turn around and care about other people. And it's about taking ownership. All of these people, all of these numbers represent ownership, and they represent responsibility for their own businesses. No one's going to come wake up and build your business for you. I always think that I'm like, oh gosh, wouldn't it be nice if someone just like came and saved me today, and like took care of all my adult problems and like came and built my bit? Like that would be so great. Wouldn't it be cool if the person who enrolled me was still around supporting my business? Guess what? She's not. I love her to death. She's one of my best friends, but she's not still building the business. So if you're complaining because your upline quit, no excuses. And if you're pissed because they won't, your upline isn't doing events and they're not there for you at the events you're hosting live, or maybe you care because your upline is like on your back all the time and they're, like suffocating you. They're all up in your grill. Maybe that's you. And you're like, will you just leave me alone? The truth is, honestly, like, we don't know what to do with you. So like, you have to do something with you. We're trying to help you. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about because you feel it too with your people. I know you know what I'm talking about. You feel it because you're checking in. I know it's silly, but it's true. You have to do something with you. Just like you want your team to do something with it. You're like, just do something. You told me you wanted this, just do it. So follow that advice. Go do something. Because we have the gift, guys. We have such a freaking gift at Isagenix. Everyone has the ability to be successful here. After hearing Dave and Dave MacArthur's story, I was just like, I have no excuse. I have no excuse to not be where I desire to be in this business. It's all excuses. It's all excuses. Successful people don't wait for others. Successful people just go first. So find what is going to make it worth it for you. Don't wait for the upline. Don't wait for a promotion from the company. Don't wait for the company to get in momentum before you do anything. You get to decide to put the company into momentum. It has to start with people. I talked to Zach last night at dinner. Also, the benefits of going to events like this, you get to go to dinners with millionaires. And it's like, amazing and you get great food. Like it's amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it was so fun. And I was talking to Zach and we were talking about certain people who had really fast success back in when the company was in momentum. And I said, oh yeah, like one of the factors was the company was in momentum. And he said, no, they put the company in momentum. I was like, okay. Well, that's not a factor then. So that can't be one of my stories anymore. That can't be one of my excuses as to why I don't have the results in my business anymore. Because if they can do it, I can do it. So I think really, okay, I want to see, so good. Yeah, I just want to check the chat a little bit. So good. The biggest thing is get clear as to the level of rejection and failure you're going to be willing to go through to get to what you want. Like, it's not a matter of if you'll get no's. And I think we all know that. It's just, when are they going to come and how many no's are we willing to get before we quit or we achieve our goal? Right? I know this is like hardcore, but just, I kept hearing at the event, you guys, like, we have no excuses. And all of us, the reason that we don't have the results in our business is just because we're telling ourselves such a disempowered story. Such a disempowered story. So what's the new story you can tell yourself? I told myself a story this weekend. I was like, some of you guys are going to hate me right now. I said, oh my God, I'm 26 already. I thought I was going to be a millionaire by now. I'm so old. I said that to myself. I said, I'm 26 already. If I haven't done it by now, when the hell am I going to do it? I started at 22 years old. I've seen people fly past me. You don't think that's hard? Yeah, it is, but that's not an empowering, gosh darn story for me anymore. So I rewrote my story in the middle of the event. I stopped myself and I was like, I'm not telling myself that story anymore. I'm telling myself a different story. Oh my God, I'm 26. By the time I'm 40, I have 15 years till I'm 40. I could create millions of dollars. I could be so rich, I have a yacht. That's so incredible. Most people don't even find this till they're 60. How cool is that? Like, this company is the future. This company is the light. This company is not going anywhere. We're going to see a lot of things come and go. But this company is so strong in its core, and we're so clear about where we're going. And I just want all of you to see that at the level that I see it and the level that the leadership sees it. It's such an exciting time. And I wish that I could inject everything that I learned and felt from this weekend into every single one of you. I know that some of you that were there know what I'm talking about. It was so magical. It was so magical. And I just hope that you can see that in this business, if we're willing to put in the work and find the few that lead to the many, lead to the masses, all that, and we're willing to show up and take action and just go for no, that no matter what the background, the prior experience, we can literally create anything that we want. We can create anything that we want, and you can create anything that you want. So that's all I have. I'm not going to keep you an extra 5 minutes just to talk. I love you guys. And what I really would recommend, if I can, get your celebration ticket. Again, David Wood is going to be there. It's going to be an incredible event. We're just so lucky to have just such amazing, we attract such amazing people into this company. Actually, we don't. This company brings out the best in people. We attract amazing people, but this company brings out the best in all of us. And we're so blessed to have that. So get your ticket for celebration and find a way to get there. Find a way to get there. My first event, I slept on the floor with 8 other girls. I wore $20 shoes that made my feet bleed. I borrowed clothes for my outfits. I put everything on a credit card, and I was working from the hallway. I enrolled 8 people that week, and it changed my entire life. Celebration 2017. I had $50 in my account, and I had no job, no idea what I was going to do. And within 5 minutes of the event, I knew that I was going to be a millionaire in the company before I was 30. That's the power of events. So I love you guys. I will see you in August, and have a good night.